នេះសូមបាទទូស្វាគមន៍ I personally acknowledge the traditional owner of this land and pay my respect to their elders, the past and present. And also I would like to acknowledge Mr. Julian Hill, member for Bridge, Mr. Hong Lim, member for Clarinda, Councillor Hieng Tak from City of Greater Dandenong. Also we have seen Mrs. Mary Apple, the President of the Khmer community, and Mr. Pankir, President of the Cambodian Alliance for Paris Peace Agreement on Cambodia. And we have a lot of distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I know that Julian here, he did not have enough time, so I give the Julian here have a speech first, and after that I will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuhorn. I feel a bit silly talking here when everyone's here. So maybe I'll do this. Thank you so much for having me back. Every time I come, let's get this thing off. Every time I come to talk to the Cambodian Australian community in our part of Melbourne, I feel so proud. I really do. It could be easy, to be honest, for people to build their new lives in Australia and forget where they came from, and not put in the time and not put in the effort to come out in the cold every time that's needed to protest what is happening in the country of your birth and where your ancestors came from and where many of your families still live. So I do congratulate you on standing up for democracy and human rights and not forgetting and not letting the Cambodian government off the hook. So thank you for that. And like you, I wish we did not have to come here every October. I really do. I do. Because 26 years ago, the Cambodian Paris Peace Accords were forged, led by the great Australian, the Federal Labor Foreign Minister, Gareth Evans. And I saw Gareth Evans in Canberra last week. He came to talk to the current members of Parliament, and we talked about the Cambodian situation. And it's true to say that the promise of those peace accords, which were so hard fought by the international community, has not been fulfilled. Yes, it ended a brutal conflict, one of the worst that the world has known in modern times. But those peace accords promised the Cambodian people free and fair elections. Free and fair elections. That's what was promised, and that is what has not been delivered. And it should not be that much to ask. And I say clearly that the Australian government, the Australian opposition, the Australian Parliament, it is not our business who the Cambodian people choose to govern them. If there were free and fair elections and people voted for Hun Sen, so be it, then he is the government. But that is our fundamental concern. What we are seeing is not free and fair elections, and indeed in recent years it has got worse, not better. The disgraceful arrest of the opposition leader for the charge of treason, trying to overthrow the government, that is his job, to overthrow the government and put forward a different platform for government, needs to be called out. And we in the federal opposition are appalled that one of the reasons for that charge of treason was a speech which he made in Melbourne in 2013 apparently, simply standing up for democracy in Cambodia. And we will not forget that. The political element is hard because I think, to be fair to some of my Liberal colleagues, most of them, they do believe in human rights. But they need to be called out for their disgraceful dealings with the current Cambodian government, in my view. $55 million for a refugee resettlement deal where you hand over the cash. It's not international aid. It's not helping people out of poverty. It's not helping build a better country. It's handing over cash to get rid of our responsibilities. Is a disgraceful deal, and they've never backed away from that. And in the last few weeks, we've now seen them send our ambassador to Cambodia in to sign new memorandums to upgrade diplomatic relations so they can sit around and talk. Now, I do not believe that Australia should ever pull out diplomatic representation in difficult circumstances. And history shows that we're right to stay in, even when times are tough, even with irresponsible regimes. We saw that in Cambodia, we've seen it in Myanmar over many years, and we're better to be at the table having a dialogue. I believe that, even if it's not always pleasant. but to upgrade relationships right at the time when they've arrested the opposition leader, closed down the major media, is not the right signal, it's not the right step. And I'm greatly concerned about the direction that the current federal Liberal government is taking this. So, no one wants a long speech from a politician, particularly on a Sunday. I think I've made my point. It's important that we gather here to remember. It's important that we do not forget. It's important that we call out the lack of human rights, the lack of democracy in any country in our region, but particularly, of course, Cambodia at this time. So thank you for standing up for what is right. Thank you for not letting people in my position in the Australian Parliament forget what is right. Myself, Claire O'Neill, who sends her regards, Mark Dreyfus, those of us from South East Melbourne who are so proud to represent you in the Australian Parliament, stand with you, we applaud you, we will be here for as long as it takes until we see a true and just peace and democracy in Cambodia. Thank you, and I wish you well.
SK Media.